Good morning and welcome to the Southeast Idaho Weather Hazard Briefing for Tuesday, April 9th, 2019. Looking at highlights ahead, today we have pretty moderate impacts. We'll have strong winds across much of the area. Possible flooding, that's going to be an ongoing threat sort of the rest of the week. And then we do have snow levels dropping, so the warm air that we had in place will be evacuating the area and replaced by much colder air, but we'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. Wednesday, looking ahead, we'll have moderate impacts as well with strong winds continuing across the area, lingering snow showers and turning much colder. And then Thursday, lower impacts overall with some lingering flood concerns and then drier for Thursday. Looking at the current satellite and radar satellite, the white areas, that's clouds. Pretty much everywhere has clouds right now, so not much really to show from there. But wanted to point out that we do have a couple of bands of rain moving into the area, one across the eastern islands and through the Snake Plain, and then another one taking aim towards the southern central Idaho mountains. There could be a little bit of snow in that, but again, snow levels are about 9,000 feet, so not expecting too much snow accumulation with that activity. Timing the showers out for the rest of the day. This is just one model. It's showing kind of a void over much of the area about 10 a.m. I do want to point out that there probably will be a little bit more activity from, say, Pocatello down through Bear Lake area where the model is kind of hinting at it down here. So I think, from I-86 and I-15 southeast, we'll see continual showers through the morning. And then, much of the Snake Plain and the Arco Desert will dry out. Maybe even some of the central mountains will dry out a little bit as well. Stepping ahead for 4 p.m., you can see the snow levels have already started to drop. We're starting to see snow through much of the central Idaho mountains from Sun Valley up through Stanley, Chalice area. So some of the summits could see some light accumulations through the afternoon and evening hours, but not really expecting too many impacts with that. There is a little bit of convective activity across the upper Snake Highlands and even down again across the Bear Lake area and southeastern zones. There could be some isolated thunderstorm activity with this and some heavier rain, but not expecting too much impact there. Now, I do want to point out that some of the models are kind of hinting at a convergence band setting up between Idaho Falls and Pocatello late tonight. Now, this would most likely be after the evening commute, so it may have less of an impact on travel through the area. But still, if this is kind of the worst case scenario here that's depicted, if this kind of takes shape, we could see a quick 1 or 2 inches falling across this area. Accumulations might be hard with the warm temperatures that we've had recently, but if we get a quick enough burst of snow, we certainly could see some accumulation and of course travel impacts with that. So something to keep in mind, and we're going to keep looking at this throughout the day to see if it actually materializes or not. Some of the other models show that it doesn't really materialize, so it still is a little up in the air. I think that it maybe a little bit better than 50% chance that we would see something, but to this extent is still a question. Snow totals, we're looking at maybe 6 to 8 across the very highest elevations through the central mountains and maybe 6 or so down across the highest elevations in the southern highlands. Otherwise, above, say, 7,000 feet, we could see a couple of inches. Not much impact to the mountain passes unless you get, a quick burst. And then, like I pointed out earlier, the 1 to 2 is possible from Idaho Falls down to Pocatello. Again, that's more of a maybe a worst case scenario. So we could get through the end of it and see really little, but I would expect some snowflakes to fly through this area tonight and into tomorrow when the snow levels drop. Now, one of the bigger impacts stepping forward is the strong winds. Right here we have, I wanted to point out Tuesday, so today we have strong winds gusting close to 50 miles an hour from, say, Mountain Home down through Shoshone, Burley into the Raft River area. Pocatello, Blackfoot, Idaho Falls could see gusts maybe close to 40 miles an hour. And then again, we don't really see a break overnight, but they will kind of re-enhance Wednesday afternoon. And again, similar areas getting hit with strong winds and even some really strong winds coming out of the central mountains too. And as you can tell from the way these arrows are pointing, there is a little bit of a wind shift as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. So today the winds will kind of be out of the west and southwest through the Snake Plain, and then west and northwest tomorrow for Wednesday. Looking at the flood potential, this is what we have forecast through Wednesday night for precipitation. You can expect another, say, close to a quarter inch for the Snake River Plain. Much less amounts than what we've been seeing the last couple of days over the central mountains as the axis of focus shifts to the southeastern and eastern zones over the highlands from, say, the Albion Mountains up through the Big Hole Mountains. So through here we could see a quarter inch all the way up to an inch in some locations of liquid. Now as the snow levels drop, some of that will be locked up in snow, but just wanted to point out this is kind of what liquid we're pointing at or we're forecasting. And then again today we do have a little bit of snow melt before the temperatures really drop off tonight. We could see 1 to 2 inches of additional liquid snow or liquid melt from the existing snowpack, really hinting at our southeastern highlands where we will expect the most rain. But I do want to point out too, in the Big Wood and the Little Wood river basins, we could see some pretty hefty melting as well, continuing today. With that in mind, we'll look at the area rivers real quick, and just wanted to point out a couple of the highlights. We do have the Little Wood approaching Bankful above High Five Creek, so we're going to be watching that today and seeing where that trends. It's been going up the last several days, and I wouldn't expect anything other than that, so we may have to issue something for that today. Otherwise, we do have Silver Creek. We have an advisory out for this area in Peekaboo. It's dipped below Bankful for the last several days, but we're kind of keeping that advisory out because it may start to swing back up. And then Pocatello, the Portneuf at Pocatello, we have it right at flood stage later on Wednesday into Thursday, and then kind of hovering there for a couple of days. We'll see how that trends with the recent heavy rainfall that we've seen over the last 12 to 24 hours in the area. And then also the Big Wood at Haley, we have it getting close to Bankful. Again, the trend is kind of hinting at that. So the next 24 hours will be really telling as to where these rivers go, but we'll be certainly keeping a close eye on them. So with that, I want to wrap up. If you have any questions, please give us a call or drop us an email. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday.